From time to time, we do take jobs that are a good distance from our office. These are usually jobs where the customer wants Apple drains to do their job, knowing that we have 30 plus years of experience and we will do the job right the first time. If you're interested, please contact us.
Hey, good morning. Chuck here at Apple Drains. Today we're down here in St. James City, Florida, which is a small city on the island called Pine Island, which is right by Sanibel Island, Cativa Island, down here by Naples. A long way south, Gulf of Mexico is right over there. And what we're doing here is, you can see the house, and you can see the ground I'm standing on. And what this is actually a septic drain field. Over here in that square, that's the septic tank. And the way this system works here in South Florida, or in a lot of places in Florida, is the sewer line, which is over there, comes out and it just comes across just underneath the ground. It goes into the septic tank, and then it disperses out into this area out here, all around me. This is the drain field. And the reason they do that is because the soil doesn't perk. In other words, if you dug down a foot below where we are, it might hit water, especially during the rainy season. So they've got to have an area for the septic to drain. But unfortunately, this block wall was never sealed. And I've already explored a couple of places, and the stucco ends, but of course, when it rains, water's coming into this block wall, and also the septic's coming in there as well. So we've got to dig a path all the way down through here and around the side of the building, and then excavate this, clean the wall, seal the wall with liquid rubber, and put in our footer tiles, which are down on the footer, to help capture the water so it doesn't get inside the block, which is what's going on right now. So we went ahead and rented a small skid loader, and that'll help us excavate this path. Probably take us a couple days. So let's get started. So we've made quite a bit of progress here, but now it's time to dig by hand. You know, with every excavation, you're going to end up digging by hand someplace. Your shovel's going to be your friend. but anyways, you can see the mound that we've mounded up here on top of the soil here. That's just hand digging, and we're cleaning this out because here's the sewer line. And of course, you can't bring the machine through there. I may cut that sewer line. It actually comes over here, right down here. And I may dig this up and cut it so that I can continue to dig and then put it all back together. So we'll see. Anybody know what kind of snake that is? He was living down here at the bottom of this wooden retaining wall. I don't know if that's one of those coral poisonous snakes or not, but we're going to get rid of them. So this is where we are today. You can see I've washed off a part of the wall over there, and we've got the footer exposed right there. We just need to continue to dig up to this corner. We may come around the corner and go to the driveway right there, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. So next, when we come back and finish this, we'll paint this wall with liquid rubber, we'll seal the wall, we'll install the gravel perforated pipe, and at the end down there of the wall, we'll put a sump pump, lift it up, and send it right there behind the backhoe as it goes over the hill. Hey, good morning. Chuck here at Apple Drains. Today we're down here in Pine Island, Florida, down here by Sanibel Island. In fact, the island is just right across the ways here. This is the Gulf of Mexico side of Florida, way down in the south of Florida. What we're doing here is we're actually waterproofing the exterior wall of this home. And you can see it's a two-story home. We've already started our excavation where we pulled out all of this soil here the other day. And what's been happening is that this is actually a septic mound. So it's a drain field. Septic tank is right over there and it leaches out into the sand. And also this is a gravelous system. But anyways, it leaches out through the sand and it's been coming over here and getting onto this wall. Naturally inside there is a horrible odor. And this homeowner just bought this home. So we want to go ahead and solve the problem. You can see what happened is they did a great job with stucco, but they didn't seal the wall and they just backfilled into the area. So it's just like a basement, just like any other basement or a crawl space. You've got to seal that wall if you're going to put dirt up against it. Otherwise water will get through stucco and through the block itself. So we're going to seal the wall. We're digging out the footer all the way down to the footer itself. Dan's over here starting that, and we're going to put our gravel perforated pipe, although we're using easy flow here. We're going to send it to a sump pump there at the end and send it out and over the hill. So while Dan's clearing out this footer, it actually rained and we had it exposed, but the rain washed some of the sand back down in there. I'm going to go ahead and cut some more of this mound off, maybe about a foot. We're going to send it on around. Whoops, let me step up on here. We're going to send it, clear this area all the way around to where I've dug the shovel to start digging. We're actually going to put a retaining wall in here to help hold this back. So a very extensive job, a lot of labor to move all the soil. And the final thing that we're going to do is, of course, when it rains over here, this area floods too. So we need to put something over here to pick up that water. So we'll put a gravel perforated pipe and we'll tie that into the footer system as well. Okay, to help you understand what's going on, this is the footer. It's hard to see, but you can hear it. That's the bottom of the footer. So the top of the footer is about right here. And you can see our trench, if this is the bottom, we're going to be right down through at the same level as the footer. Then we're going to dig a sump pit right here where my boots are. That's going to bring the water into the pit. The pump will lift it up and send it out. And the problem here is that they did a great job on the stucco, but you notice that there's no tar on this wall. In other words, they did not seal the wall. We're going to seal this wall with liquid rubber, and all the way up where you can see it's been, we've excavated that, seal all of that with liquid rubber all the way down to the footer so that no water can penetrate inside the block wall, which is behind this stucco. So let's see if we can knock this wall down. Oh yeah, it's rotten. Really bad. Deep down here. This is where I found those, what I thought were coral snakes, but they were actually king snakes. Looked the same. So now we can take these bolts out of here, dig on around the corner, and we should be in good shape. So when you're digging up sand, especially when you have obstacles like sewer or something in your way, it's heavy. It rained last night too, so it's even more heavy. Be careful that you don't overextend your back, because you will get hurt. And it makes your project no fun. So just that little bit more to go. We'll have this all cleaned out. You can see where I'm standing. We'll come back around the corner. So we've got all the way back. Turn the camera, you can see where we're going underneath of this wooden retaining wall, which is bolted to this awning. We're going to leave that there. We've tunneled underneath, and we'll continue that drain all the way over. I did find a perforated pipe. You can see the fabric around it. This is perforated pipe, and it does have some gravel around it. So this is part of the drain field, and you can see how deep this is. And this is half of the problem. That drain field is just, when that tank is flushed, water's run, comes out through these pipes, and sure enough, it's going right up into and under the footer, and that's the problem. So there's going to be more, we just don't see them. There's going to be a whole bunch of perforated pipe coming from behind the wheelbarrow is a septic tank. So that square where you see the bare spot, that's the septic tank. And the mound that we're standing on, notice how high we are. The tank sits flat at the grade of the driveway, and it sits like this because water can't perk. It can't get down below, just maybe a few inches below where you see the driveway, because there's water down there and it just doesn't perk properly. So what they do is they build these above ground septic mounds, and that's what we're standing on. And the water just leaches out through, I'm gonna walk down the hill here. The water leaches out through that hill and disperses. Works great, no problem. But when you build something like this and you put it right up against the house, you're bound to have problems. And like I said, they did not seal the wall. They stuccoed it. They parged it with cement, which is stucco, but they didn't seal it. And there's no footer tile down here. If you look carefully, you'll see there is a gravel perforated pipe. They've encased that pipe, in fabric, but that's from the septic tank, and it just pours over here. And of course, she's got a horrible, horrible smell down below. More than likely, there are moored lines at that same level. As we come around, we just don't see them because we're not digging in that area. But yeah, we've almost got this exposed. We just need to scrape out that last little bit, and we're ready to lay pipe. Well, first we'll wash off the wall, and then we'll seal it, and then we'll lay some pipe down here. Remember, we're using the peanut pipe, which is the easy flow, so we don't need any gravel at all, and it should go really quick. Okay, so we've got everything exposed. Now what we're doing is we're washing off the wall. Luckily, they've got really good pressure here. Easy up here. You just kind of rinse it off, hit that, get it clean. The area that's most important is, you can see where the water's hitting. Now you can actually see the footer. It's just below that little water pipe. And if you look down this way, you'll see that there's dirt that's just grown right, or little pieces of root that have grown right up under that stucco. So we've got to clean that off really good. Let's get the top first. So we're applying our liquid rubber, and remember that this is a Blackjack number 57, the coating. And this is a really good product. You can see it even says rubber coating. It's a premium fiberglass coated rubber that, as you paint it on, will seal and make a super hard coat of rubber. This will help keep that water from coming through the wall. But the big thing is to get that footer tile, that footer pipe, down into the trench so that water can be carried away, whether it be gravity, going to gravity, or to a sump pump. So we're progressing with the liquid rubber, and it's looking really good. Okay, so we're ready to set up our sump basin. You've seen me do this many times. Good hacksaw, cut off the nipple. And then we're going to set the pit down, in this hole. So let's do that. Looking real good. We may raise it up just a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to put our styrofoam peanut footer tile. It's going to come right through that hole and run all the way back along this wall. It sits just below the top of the footer. So this water line's right at the top of the footer right here. So our pipe will, the center of the pipe will be about right here. Remember, it's pretty thick with the styrofoam around it, just like you'd have gravel underneath and gravel on the top. It's the same thing. So let's go ahead and put that together. So the way that I insert this is I'll make a little slice right here, just right up to that point, and then I can pinch it together and I'll be able to stick it in this little hole down here. So let's take a look. You can see where it's going to come in right there. I need my other hand, so hold on. So you can see once it comes inside, it opens back up and nice and tight, nice and secure. Now we'll just go ahead and hook up the next section, and we'll continue that all the way around the footer. So now you hook up the next piece. The way we do that is we take a piece of pipe, we slice it. This is the insert, and you squeeze it together. It slides inside. Take the next piece and just couple them up. Make sure they're squeezed tightly together. Perfect. Let's move on to the next spot. You can see our footer tile going through there. We're ready to go ahead and backfill that. Just comes around the corner here and it'll end right here behind me. Let's go ahead and backfill that. It's going to rain, so I want this to get covered so it doesn't float up.
You know, these videos, they seem a little long, but I'm trying to show you all the things that are really involved when you excavate an exterior wall. And doing this yourself, you can do this. I promise you can do it. Be prepared for a lot of labor, and it is labor. There's no doubt about it. You know, this job took 3 days. There were 2 men on this job, but mostly it was just me. Now it's time to dig the discharge line from the sump pump. This is across a gravel drive. It's actually coquina shell that's compacted and crushed. That's what they use here in Florida. We could have run the trencher across here, but there's some private electric lines, so it's pick and shovel time. This is a difficult spot, but I promise you that if you try hard, you can do this. Okay, so now we're getting ready to drill our discharge line. This is a 2-inch hole saw. We're going to bring it right out through the side here. Perfect. And we'll slide our 1.5 inches right down inside there. You can see it fits perfectly inside that hole. And then we'll hook our pump up. This will be our discharge line going out across the driveway. We're going to go ahead and glue this up right now. Okay, so we've got our sump pump plumbed. You can see the pump down here. We've got a check valve. It comes up 90s, and then it discharges across the drive over to the pond. And you don't have to be very deep with your Schedule 40 PVC, especially not down here in Florida. You know, this is not going to freeze, so we'll add a little bit more pipe on it just to get it out over the hill. Then we can cover this up, and they can drive over this with a big truck. No worries, all done. Okay. So these are 12 inches long and they're 4 inches high, and we're going to stack these up after we finish excavating right over here. We're going to make all that flat, pack it down, and we'll build the wall, the retaining wall, and backfill behind it, and we're pretty much done here. Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. We're down here in Pine Island, Florida, way down here Fort Myers area. Yesterday we went ahead and we put in the footer system, the footer tile. You can still see our peanut pipe there, sump pump. We sealed the wall. Today we're going to go ahead and put in a stone retaining wall. We're using these hacienda stones. They're just dry stacked. We're going to bring this wall up, and it's going to go all the way around the side of the house. So we already started. Let's go ahead and keep working. So laying your first course is really the toughest thing to do. If you can get that nice and level, the rest of the courses will come up really quick. And what we're doing is we're stepping it down, so
you have to dig under half a brick in order to get to step down to the proper level, so you can kind of see how that's shaping up. But we'll get this, it's almost there. So we've just about got our foundation down where we're able to lay more stone coming around that corner. A little difficult there because you have to dig it out to make your steps to come down. But once you got that, you'll be able to stack your brick up really quick. Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. We are down here in Pine Island, Florida, day 3 of our excavation. We're in the final phase. We're building the wall here. Just recap, remember we went ahead and dug out this whole area because this is a septic mound that actually was right up against the house. So we had to excavate this area, move the mound, dig down, put in new footer pipe. That's the gravel perforator pipe, although we used the easy flow in here. Brought that over to a sump pump, and the sump pump discharges across the drive. You can see the trench here. It's settling nicely. And it discharges over here to this pond. You can see the little 1.5-inch pipe there. It works really good. I already tested it out. So we're finishing up the wall. Basically, we're going to go ahead and raise this wall up about another 1.5 feet. We're going to be a total of about 30 inches on our wall, and then we'll add more soil in here to bring it up to grade. The way that we're doing this, we're using these basic hacienda stones, landscape stones. And what we do is we use a caulking. We just put a little bit of this adhesive. This is actually Loctite, but it's made for concrete block, and it holds really good. Put a couple of beads on each one, and we just keep stacking the block. This is a dry stack, so pretty simple to do. The hard part really is getting your first course down there nice and level so that you can easily stack up your stone. So let's go ahead and get started. So we just put a little bead of caulk, this adhesive, on each stone, and you just keep on going all the way. I'm just going to do a few of them here. And this stone is a manufactured stone. It has a little lip on the back of it. You see that little lip? And that actually locks behind here. So it's a dry stack wall, but it kind of leans back to help hold any pressure from the wall or from the dirt against the stone. So let's go ahead and set one in place. Just slide it over and it locks in place. Make sure that your lip hits the back, and you can see how it stacks up. You've seen these stones many places. Even when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they make a little garden bed out of them right there in the front. It looks really good. Okay, so we've got the wall to finish height, and now we're bringing some more soil back in here, and we're grading it off so that it kind of drains this direction ever so slightly. And we'll be finished here. We'll clean it all up here at the top, just a little bit more backfill behind the stone, and we're good to go. So here's the finished wall, and we've got a new walkway. That little pad's for the AC. They're going to put the AC back there, and it's graded this direction. Everything, water would come this direction as it falls into this well, basically this path. Comes out, you can see our sump pump is going to pick everything up and send it out over to the pond. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.